24 Paris Olympics.
No, 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 oh, no, 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 oh, no, no, no.
Live from the Ingalls studio.
I can't wait to play with myself every day.
The Sportsocracy.
Damn the devil to hell! Let the big dog see! Let him on the field!
Come get you some of this.
Fire them cannons! By golly, put more powder in those things.
He couldn't take any more disappointment.
Oh my God, the Jets killed him.
It is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere you go on the iHeartRadio app. We're seen everywhere on YouTube for the next 90 minutes. The rain out last night for the Atlanta Braves, so today's program will take us up to 1:30 this afternoon.
And we will never utter the phrase, we're going to work a full week ever again. Never.
No, because we jinxed it like that.
We jinxed it. We were going to work 5 full days, and now we will be at 3.5.
3.5. Exactly. We will not be with you tomorrow. We will be paying our respects. Our good friend Michael Whiteside, who lost his son this past week. Our thoughts and prayers go out to him. All members of the House of Reprehensibles, thoughts and prayers with you, with Michael and the Whiteside family. But today, we'll give you 90 minutes of hell, as I wrote out in the YouTube description. We got a lot to get into here, criticizing the best, quote-unquote, rosters in the NFL. Another fun little list coming out from the mothership, where I think they kind of smoked crimes and went crazy.
On a few teams specifically. Indeed.
We've got a new trailer came out today for the college football game.
I'm
good. Real excited. I've always wanted and wished for the fan experience. Right? I'm tired of the same old that we've had in every video game. Of the cutaway scenes are always of just random fan with a red shirt on. They're going to be doing like actual in-stadium fan celebrations and stuff to add to the authenticity of the game.
I can confirm that Neck is in it at LSU too, which was
yes.
I don't know if Country Roads is in it. I've heard conflicting reports on that, and I'm reserving the right to be very upset because that's a song that would play a lot in my dynasty.
You'd have to have the extended post game though.
We would. I mean, and here's the thing. I mean, I'm going to play this game for 5 solid days. We're going to do the show live from my house as I just beat Tank sideways on release day. That'll be July 16th, which is right after the first stop on our tour in the Living the Dream tour at Cabarrus Brewing.
Yes.
I did have the first person in my league stop in there and go, the beer's good and the food's good. And that's good.
Awesome. All right, July 13th is when that'll be happening. We'll be doing a show live beforehand, won't we?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't record in the building. Scott Fish has the media licensing rights to all of that. Yes. So we can take a camera in and take pictures and do things like that, but I can't like live stream it.
But we can set up in a parking lot.
Oh yeah. There's no. And look, I'm just go ahead and tell you that there are going to be over the course of this tour, there's going to be situations like that where they go, you can't record here. So some of these might be from our lovely Airbnb, and you can see the stadium. It's right there.
It's gonna be just fine. As we keep saying, we're going to bring you as close to the action as possible on the Live in the Dream tour with our good friends at Ingalls Markets, Dale's Pale Ale, Parks Ford, Hendersonville. Yes, next time we are with you on Friday, we will be live at Parks Ford in Hendersonville. 601 Duncan Hill Road, just off of Four Seasons Boulevard. Red Cross will be on hand taking blood donations while we're there as well. So come on down Friday if you can and see us. Otherwise, tune in and listen right here on ESPN Asheville. Seems like we need to get into the discussions of the rosters here, Jeremy, because some of the prognostications and the analyses of the rosters in the NFL seem to be a little off in some cases. Your best roster going into this year, who's your number one?
Houston Texans.
Okay.
That's
Number
the best
one?
roster in the NFL,
Right
top to bottom. I dare you to find me a weakness on that team.
Okay. Houston Texans, I mean, they've got every position loaded. They've got veterans up and down. They've got young stars up and down. They have 17 weapons for C.J. Stroud to use.
Yeah, Josh Allen would really love to have the 7th wide receiver for the Houston Texans to be his new number one. Ben Skoranek would look really good on the opposite side of Keon Coleman.
Right. Houston's your one.
That's the one roster in the NFL that I just look up and down and go, I don't love their offensive line.
Yeah.
But there are, I look at a guy like Kenyon Green. All right, he's going into his 3rd year. I think this is probably where he takes a step forward. You got Shaq Mason at the other guard spot. I don't love any of it, but I also know there's no shot that you're going to be able to blitz this team heavily. Mm-hmm. There's not. They have guys everywhere. So I don't worry about that as much. I don't necessarily love the interior of their D-line. I'm a little biased to Foley Fatukasi. Think he a dog. He just got miscast in Jacksonville. Mm-hmm. But I'm not overly worried about it. I mean, do I think teams are going to be running it down the throat of the Texans? No, I don't.
I don't think anybody's going to have their way with the Houston Texans. That's a loaded roster. They've got a lot of talent. The question I have, is it ready to be up on that level with the teams that are loaded already, but you know what's coming? Right? You know that they have strong coaching, strong cultures. The teams at the top that have been there the last few years. The Kansas City Chiefs, the San Francisco 49ers, Philadelphia Eagles, all of them have elite rosters to me. And I don't know that I can have Houston ahead of any of them.
Every team you just said. All right, so you said San Francisco, Kansas City, and who?
And Philadelphia.
Every one of those rosters has a hole that I could drive a truck through.
Mm-hmm.
San Francisco, your line is terrible. It's not bad. It's not lacking. It's genuinely
terrible.
Terrible.
It's Trent
it got
Williams
worse from last year, which is what cost you a Super Bowl in the worst conference I've ever seen. You had a shot to win a Super Bowl and your line burned you, and it will again. I also think that's the thinnest roster in the NFL. So the list that we're going off of, which has San Francisco at 1, was multiple contributors on ESPN.com.
Right.
And they were ranking the best projected starting lineups. I don't argue that San Francisco belongs in this discussion in the top end of the league if we're just going starting lineups. You go 1 to 53, I could make the argument they shouldn't be in the top 10.
Because of how thin they are.
Anybody gets hurt, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Literally any position on that roster, I don't care what it is. Anybody gets hurt and you're doomed. You add Brandon that into this whole drama with Brandon Ayuk, of which can we stop doing things on Instagram? Like, do we have to do that every single day?
Yep. That's where they live their lives.
Oh, I mean, you saw the latest drama, I'm assuming.
What, just that he wants $30 million? They only want to offer 26.
No, there was a report that came out that Washington had turned down a trade offer from San Francisco, and Ayuk basically said, "I thought they weren't trying to trade me," and he made a thing about it. This is like example number 11 of why I would never pay Brandon Ayuk ever. You want to live this out on social media? Cool, go do it for the Commanders. I don't need this with a team that's in a Super Bowl window.
Mm-hmm. Problem is, without him, are you still in the Super Bowl window?
I think so. The NFC's not good.
I'm not so sure.
I will never understand. Was there like a symposium that I missed of every media member that now is somehow beholden to Brandon Ayuk, who had been largely a bust the first handful of years in the league. He was good last year, and now we just chalk it up to he's elite.
Yeah.
I cannot make that make sense to me.
Well, he was the best receiver on his team that already had an elite receiver. It was his breakthrough year. So now it's time to get paid.
Yeah. If I had $1 for every receiver I've seen have one really good year and then they got paid, I'd be a millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
I would also be a $500,000 there if I added another $1 for every time it's just gone absolutely terribly.
It's just it's a nightmare scenario because Brandon Ayuk and his agent know that they could get that deal somewhere. Someone somewhere will give him that top echelon money. So they are asking for it from the San Francisco 49ers, and if they don't want to pay it, then it's interesting how they're going to handle that.
I would agree with the Ocho in our YouTube chat who said Debo's not a receiver, he's a weapon. That's exactly right.
Mm-hmm.
He's the best weapon. I would argue George Kittle is your best receiver, and if it's not George Kittle, I'll say it's Christian McCaffrey. I mean, yeah, who's shocked that on a roster that's that good, Brandon Ayuk, who's constantly getting single coverage, and it's very rarely number one coverage, had a year that good? I'm just not that surprised by that.
Yeah.
I also don't know that it's replicable. Certainly not in Washington or wherever else he could end up being. And this all goes back to what you said of without Brandon Ayuk, I think they're out of a Super Bowl window. I don't. I will honest to God tell you that I think the difference between Brandon Ayuk and Ricky Pearsall in terms of wins is maybe
But when it's that close, that one win could matter. Is it worth $30 million to you? No, not necessarily.
Not in the NFC. Because, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I look at San Francisco right now with Ayuk, without Ayuk, I don't really care. I think you're going to come up against Detroit, maybe Philadelphia. I don't know exactly how much to buy into that. The Rams, maybe the Packers. Any one of them could beat you. You have a couple injuries going into a playoff game, and I will favor them. I promise. And I don't care who it is.
Right. So top to bottom, Houston's your one.
Houston is my one.
Okay. What is the hierarchy look like after that?
Then we get into a I don't know. I know it's not a trio because that's 3. When do we get into quintet? Is that 5?
Yes, that
English
is 5.
I mean, it's my first language, but I'm not very good at it. I have a quintet of teams that I look at and go, man, you've got one hole, and that hole scares the heeber-jeebers out of me.
Okay.
The Ravens would be my 2 because I think that roster top to bottom. I'm not going to say I'm taking quarterback out here. I'm just going from 2 to 22. If you look at what the Ravens have and look at what the Chiefs have, one of those is better than the other, and it's not the one you keep telling me it is. Baltimore 2 to 22 is better than Kansas City. Kansas City has Pat Mahomes.
Right.
So Kansas City's my 3. Detroit's my 4. And then I get into the 2 that I keep staring at them. It's San Francisco and the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like those are the same team in reverse.
Okay, explain.
One of them, I'm scared of your quarterback. The other, I'm not scared of your quarterback, but I'm not scared your quarterback can stay upright.
Okay. And the rest of it is a wash?
I mean, look, it's very obvious that the 49ers and the Jets were built by guys that have the same idea of how to build a roster.
The same basic DNA.
Yeah, I mean, you have defensive lines and I think that's why I'm so down on San Francisco, is because I've watched my team built with who I think is an excellent GM that has built this team exactly how I know Robert Saleh wants it. And anybody that calls that defense appropriately is going to want it that way. And I'm watching San Francisco just stray away from it year after year after year after year after year. And it's almost like lying. Every time you lie, you become a little less of yourself. And then you've had to tell so many by the end that you're not even the same person you started out as. That's where I look at San Francisco's defense. You've still got linebackers. I would argue the Jets are better.
Mosley and Williams are better than Warner?
Warner and half a year of Drake Greenlaw.
Who's the other one?
Drake Greenlaw.
Yeah.
Who I think you're only going to have for half of a year. I mean, maybe I'm a little biased there. Look, Fred Warner's the best one of that group.
Yes, no doubt about it.
Quincy Williams for me would be 2. C.J. Mosley would be 3, and then Drake Green. Half of a year of Drake Greenlaw would be 4.
It's no question with the corners.
Yeah. That's no question with anybody in the NFL that's not the Cleveland Browns. I mean, honestly, I've gotten into more arguments about that than I could count. And I finally just got to the point of, if you don't understand this, I'm not going to waste my time arguing with you.
Yep.
I don't argue with stop signs either. So if you don't get it, that's a you problem, not a me problem.
All right. So outside the top 5 is, where things really went off the rails for the for the mothership list. The Dallas Cowboys came in at number 6 on their list, and you can only imagine what Jeremy's reaction was when he saw that. We'll discuss it up next. You're on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, 1400.
Digest.
We're clear.
Take over your entire day, leaving those like Taylor, hello, feeling bloated and uncomfortable.
I'll be right back.
Hi, Taylor. I'm Ellen.
How did you get into my bathroom?
Never mind that. You need to try the Squatty Potty. The squatting position is clinically proven to increase emptiness for 85% of individuals.
Much better. You can go now.
Available now at Walmart and Amazon.com.
You can go now.
Not to brag, but Progressive's Name Your Price tool is mankind's greatest tool ever. Even better than the wheel. Sure, without the wheel, we wouldn't have modern transportation or funny videos of dogs riding skateboards. But without the Name Your Price tool, we wouldn't have easy access to auto insurance options based on our budget. And, well, cars do need wheels. They also need insurance, and insurance never goes flat. Learn more about the greatest tool ever, the Name Your Price tool at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law. Not available in all states.
Find what you love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. All kinds of beers and thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low. It just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
The light is fading, your hands are sore, and the last tool has been put away. Now is the time to feel the satisfaction that comes with a job well done. But when you get your tools from Harbor Freight, something about the job feels a little different. Your wallet. Because we believe that everyone deserves hardworking tools at hardworking prices. And that's what we have here. So, whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics have teamed up under new ownership by an Asheville native to better serve our community with the finest custom apparel and unique branded items at the best price. Showtime Sports and Mountain Graphics can customize whatever you, your team, business, or local group may need through high-quality screen printing, embroidery, and laser engraving right here in Asheville. Free personal delivery within Buncombe County and a reduced delivery fee anywhere in Western North Carolina. Visit ShowtimeSportsAVL.com and MountainGraphicsAVL.com. Your one-stop custom apparel shops.
Here's to the helpers. To the ones who grow up knowing that life is about more than finishing first. It's about finishing together. At Ingalls, we know that doing your part doesn't mean doing for yourself. It means doing what you can. Even though you might not seek the spotlight, we see you, and we're grateful. Ingalls.
I'm back.
Low prices. Love the savings.
This summer, Dale's Pale Ale salutes freedom. Freedom in fabric, or the fabric of freedom. Denim Dale's available for a limited time in the blue jean box. Dale's salutes everyone who works hard, plays hard, and relaxes hard. Life's more than about what you pack in your dinner. Though we're packing beer, so we win. Seize the Dales. Unwind in style with a cool breeze up the jorts. Just look for the beer in the blue jean box.
The Sportsocracy.
That is some good, clean family fun there, eh, Cot?
Back in the Sportsocracy, coming to you live from the Ingalls studio and Mullet Manor. Best rosters in the NFL. We love reacting to other people's lists because we love lists ourselves. And when you put out a list that goes a little cuckoo nanners crazy, when you say that the Dallas Cowboys have the number 6 roster in the NFL, Jeremy, what's your reaction?
Do you smoke crimes? And if you do you need an assist? There are programs that we could get you into because that is cuckoo nanner time.
Uh-huh. That it is. What about the Dallas Cowboys roster makes you think that they're just right on the cutting edge of being elite in this league? Because that's where that ranking puts you, up there above teams like the Houston Texans, who came in at 8 on this list.
I'm not going to lie to you. Anybody that actually thinks that, I need you to explain it to me like I'm a small crying child.
You are uber elite at like 4 positions.
Yep.
Other than that, you either have good players or dudes. There's not a lot of great on this roster outside of CeeDee Lamb, Micah Parsons, and the 2 guards.
I'll even just for argument's sake, I'll throw you Dak Prescott. Because he is a top 10 quarterback
in the elite
this league.
Category? Okay, all right.
Outside of that, name me the next thing that you're even good at. I'll wait.
Good as in above average?
Yes.
DeMarcus Lawrence, is he above average?
I was kind of lumping him into the edge rushers because I do like Marshawn Neal, and you've got Micah Parsons. All right, you're good on the edge, you're good at guard, you're good at quarterback. And you have a number 1 wide receiver. What else you got?
They were good at turnovers under their last defensive coordinator.
Yes. And now you have a completely new system that I'm not sure either one of those corners actually fit into.
Right. Trayvon Diggs, Deron Bland, both of them had splashy years, separate years. But that's the closest you come. Brandon Cooks would be next, probably.
Which he's a shell of his former self.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And now you're scraping like low 2nd tier, high 3rd tier kind of players.
I'll go ahead and tell you, the Cowboys, I don't even have
roster make.
I don't even have them in the top 15. Because I don't think they belong there. I mean, is that roster right now better than the Seattle Seahawks, which is who I have at 15, just to be clear?
No.
I don't think it is.
The high end is better. You have a better quarterback situation.
Okay, so you say the high end is better. Are you only talking about quarterback? You have one better edge rusher.
No,
what else do you have that I'm not at least in the ballpark?
CeeDee Lamb.
DK Metcalf's in the ballpark of CeeDee Lamb.
Oh, okay.
I mean, CeeDee Lamb's a top 5 guy. DK Metcalf's a top 13 guy. I don't think anything I just said is even debatable.
Mm-hmm.
And you could put DK in the top 10, and you would get absolutely no pushback from me.
Okay. I'm not saying that they're better. All I said was I feel like your higher end players are better.
And my argument to that is, okay, CeeDee Lamb, I've got DK Metcalf, who's close. Tyler Lockett and Jackson Smith and Jigba are so much better than anything you have that it's going to take pressure off DK that's not going to come off CeeDee Lamb. To me, that makes them, in terms of production on the field, it might not be as good for your fantasy team, but in terms of actual offensive schematic football, I would rather have what Seattle has than Dallas, and it's not really all that close.
Yeah.
Running back, wide receiver, I'll even go the offensive line because I am not sure what you're going to get out of Tyler Guyton as a rookie. I'm not sure what you're going to get out of Terrence Steele. I'm not really sure what you're going to get out of Cooper Beebe. I think it's probably what Cody Whitehair has been for the last handful of years, which is fine, but not great.
Right.
Then I get to the defense and just go top to bottom. Yeah, I'd rather have Seattle. You give me Micah Parsons, I'll take everything else I have.
I agree. Just another example, putting the thumb on the scale, getting them Cowboys fans all riled up. Just leading the horses to slaughter. You want to hoist them as high as possible before you just let them free fall to their doom, like they do every year.
I feel like that should be a Dallas Cowboy shirt in our merch store. You can lead this horse to slaughter, but you can't make it, and it will make it drink.
That's a pretty good one. I like that.
I think with Jerry Jones' face on it, just as a cartoon.
Yeah. Dallas was not in my top 10 of rosters, and I don't think they should be in anybody's top 10 of roster talent in this league. Hell, you can't even make the claim that they're so well led that the coach would make up for it. There's no redeeming quality here.
No, next week we're going to do coaches, and I'll go ahead and tell you Mike McCarthy's rank for me starts with a 2.
Wow. I was expecting at least a 1.
Nope.
On that one, but that'll be a fun discussion when we get to it next week.
So, and
the Buffalo
this would
Bills,
be my only argument on Mike McCarthy. All right, so he's had the one really good year. Everything else has been average to bad. Have I missed anything there?
Mm-mm.
Okay, you know who else has a career like that? Vanilla Ice.
Who's that?
From Ice Ice Baby, it gets awful bleak, awful fast.
He wasn't hitting on a lot with the second album.
Well, and I'm not even sure that I can give you that much credit for Ice Ice Baby because I'm pretty sure I've heard that opening riff somewhere else.
Oh yeah, absolutely. He had to pay big bucks for that, didn't he?
I think he did. For some reason, I had that in my head, but I also had this thing in my head about Marilyn Manson that's apparently not true. So,
yeah, no, I think he did end up getting sued over that. I don't remember what the outcome of that was, but yeah, that is the same tune as the David Bowie Queen song, the Under Pressure song that they did. All right, the Buffalo Bills are truly the test case for, to me, how far can a quarterback take you? They got ranked 9 in this list, and that to me is insane. You've bled talent over the years, and now you don't have a receiver that I'd feel comfortable being my 3.
Oh, I'd feel comfortable with Keon Coleman.
But not my 2. Especially not my 1.
Well, basically what this tells me is that the contributors at ESPN think having a top 3 quarterback means you have a top 10 roster no matter what's around them. Because I can't find a positive on this roster, let alone anything that I would put in the top half of the league.
Mm-hmm.
Your line's fine. I like your tight end. I think you have some pieces on the defensive line. You've got one very injury-prone linebacker and another one that was pretty good last year as a rookie, but now he's the dude. Mm-hmm. And then your secondary feels like it's just duct taped together with a bunch of dudes that they're fine.
You know what this roster kind of reminds me of? The Houston Texans of a couple of years ago.
Okay, now
seems to be a lot of. It just seems to be a lot of cast-offs from other places.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I mean, I feel like you're going way over the top there.
I mean, it's hyperbolic, yes, but it's closer to that than it is to an elite roster, an elite talent roster.
And I'm going to say this, and I think once I do, you'll never unsee it. You know what it reminds me of? New England. In that dead period where they couldn't win Super Bowls. It's a lot of cast-off, but, man, you're not hitting. And you can get the best out of the cast-offs from time to time. But, man, you're not hitting nearly enough in the draft.
Yeah. The question is Josh Allen Tom Brady?
I'm going to ask a question.
That's the only way I could see this. That's the only way that I could see this being a legitimate contender team.
I'm going to ask you a question, and I think I already know your answer, but I just want to confirm. Name me the receiver that Josh Allen's ever made better.
That he's ever made better?
Mm-hmm. Name me the guy that you look at with Josh Allen and go, he was better there than he would have been with Jordan Love in Green Bay or Kirk Cousins in Minnesota. Hint, that was the trap.
That was the trap.
Because Stephon Diggs was every bit as good with Kirk Cousins. Or it wasn't Kirk Cousins. It was little Kirk, Case Keenum, I think. He was every bit as good there as he was in Buffalo. It's not like Stephon Diggs went to Buffalo and all of a sudden he became this elite guy. He was already an elite guy.
No, he actually got Josh over the hump.
He made Josh better. Josh didn't make him better.
Right. The storyline was Josh can't win because he doesn't have any weapons. He's too inaccurate down the field. Because he doesn't have any weapons. They went out and got him Stephon Diggs, and then bam, he took the step. He took the leap.
The only two quarterbacks in my lifetime
getting more elite by the year.
The only two quarterbacks in my lifetime that I have seen legit make mediocre receivers good, make good receivers great, were Tom Brady and Pat Mahomes. That's it. There's not another one. Dan Marino could win games with mediocre garbage out wide because he was just that special of an arm talent. He didn't make them stars.
Exactly.
Tom Brady made dudes that look like they should be working at Allstate, Pro Bowlers. Pat Mahomes, at this point, I am pretty convinced that Brett Veach is just going, find me 5 dudes that can run a 4.3. That's all I need. I don't care if they can catch. They'll catch a handful of them by accident. That's plenty.
MVS did. Even he caught a couple by accident.
And I mean, and I'm not meaning this to be a shot. I'm really not meaning what I'm getting ready to say be a shot. And this is going to be kind of spicy. I think you and I universally agree that Josh Allen and Joe Burrow are 2-3 among quarterbacks, right?
Yeah.
Could I not make the argument that C.J. Stroud is the only one, the only other quarterback outside of Mahomes that I've seen take guys that had been mediocre before and make them studs? He made Nico Collins a stud. I've never seen anybody else do that.
Right.
I mean, and I'm not trying to say that I would put CJ ahead of those two right now. I'm looking to a year, 2 years, 3 years down the line. Going, I think we're going to have a slightly different take on quarterbacks as time goes on.
Which will translate to what?
That CJ's the closest thing to Pat we have. Because Joe has elite receivers.
Yeah.
Look, Cincinnati, they have a completely different way of building rosters than Buffalo. Cincinnati throws darts at a board at receiver every single year. Looking at Andre Iashivas that they took out of Princeton, and I know that's a later round pick, and a lot of people will think, oh, you're making a mountain out of a molehill there. No, look at what Buffalo takes. All right, Khalil Shakir, who he's fine, but all he is a shifty little slot receiver. Outside of that, I'm having to desperately go try to get Curtis Samuel. I shoehorned myself into having to take Keon Coleman. And if you don't think that that's not who they were necessarily after, just understand they traded down twice. Mm-hmm. I think they're going to accidentally be right because I love Keon Coleman. But if that was their dude, do you not think they would have stayed where they were and taken him?
Yeah, probably. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. We'll continue the discussion of the best rosters and the unappreciated rosters, especially, is what we'll get to coming up after the break here on 92.9. Stick with us.
This is your Exergen
Clear
forecast on ESPN Asheville.
All right, we got to restart your video
afternoon
somehow.
May have some change to it compared to where we were yesterday. Still could get into the low 90s, but not a record. Got to get to 96 to get that. That's not happening, at least I don't think. I hope. Sunshine, clouds, and a few showers, thunder showers mid-afternoon through this evening. Upper 60s overnight tonight, still a chance of showers. Thursday, some widely scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm, especially midday into the afternoon. Otherwise, clouds, sunshine, upper 80s, and a few showers, thunderstorms around on Friday, upper 80s. From the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report is...
All right, you got
there he is.
See, the new taste of KFC deals are meals starting at just $4.99. Grab a hot and juicy drum and thigh, a buttery biscuit,
pick up this time, and I
creamy
didn't
mashed
want to
potatoes with gravy. Only at
boo-booing the
KFC. It's finger licking good. Prices and participation vary.
We're
Tax,
good.
tip, and fees extra.
Even if you take excellent
I'll be
care
right
of
back.
your teeth and gums at home, you still need to see a dentist regularly. And at Asheville Smiles, they have all the latest and greatest technology, which is so important because they are able to catch issues quicker and diagnose more accurately. Many dental problems, they don't even become visible or cause pain until they are in more advanced stages. So when you are thinking about 2024, you need to make sure that you think about your overall health and make that dental appointment. World-class dental care with a hometown feel. It's AshevilleSmiles.com.
Careers in short-term rehabilitation and long-term care require individuals who seek purpose, both professionally and personally. Sandstone Health and Rehabilitation sets the standard for excellence by hiring people who want to make a lasting difference. We encourage you to join the compassionate team where opportunities are more than jobs. They're careers with purpose. Are you ready to begin your journey? Explore our openings at sanstonehealth.com/careers.
This is a weekly test of the emergency alert system. This is only a test.
When you're high, you feel different. You think different, you talk different, you draw different, you listen to music different, but you probably knew that. Problem is, you also drive different, and not in a good way. That's why driving high is illegal everywhere. So if you're high, just don't drive. Make a plan to get a sober ride. Because if you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
As humans, we like having options. One option you might like is speaking with a real person when you call about your credit card. With 24/7 live U.S.-based customer service from Discover, everyone can talk to a real person anytime, day or night. Limitations apply. See terms at discover.com/credit card.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or
Right. They decided to put the
you
two
need to
screws
call
for the
the
dental
agents
implants
at
in
Clarissa
today.
Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at Clarissa.
All right. That does not
Download
look
our
pleasant.
free app on Google Play or the App Store. Type in Asheville Home Search. You'll be able to connect with our team and see all the available homes for sale in our area. For more information, contact us today at 828
She looked like Jerry Cooney.
43 or
No, she just can't really open her mouth.
ClarissaSellsWNC at gmail.com.
My name is Nathaniel Darnell.
She's
This is
talking
my
like this.
Oh, shoot.
On our farm, we think our fruits and
I
vegetables are some of the best
knew
you're
you were
gonna
going to
find.
make a joke. I saw it
Years.
coming.
And the support they give to Family Farm
You should probably hot tub and spit on that thing.
right here in the Great Smoky
That'll make it feel better.
Mississippi River. We have
Oh,
the perfect
you're an
place
idiot.
to grow our produce. If you want the best local quality, you cannot.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Ford Hendersonville, and we are excited to kick off the Parks Promise Community Hero Program. This year, we'll be celebrating nonprofits throughout Western North Carolina that live out our core value to do better and be better for the communities that we serve. There are so many organizations doing amazing things, from being a helpful hand to a soft voice or a warm heart to embrace their neighbors. We can't wait to introduce you to our 2024 Parks Promise Community Heroes. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Boy, you must be outside your mind.
The Sportsocracy.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
It is ESPN Asheville, the Sportsocracy, live on 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400. Sorry, I got an echo going on my headphones. I got to fix that real quick. Jeremy, I'm a big movie buff. I love movies, and I will see all of the crappy movies.
You'll watch crap and tell me how great it is. It's quite annoying.
Yeah, I will. Because you need a little culturing there, sir. I'm not a big fan though of Hallmark movies, but we're getting one. We're getting a sports themed one, or it's gonna have a mention of it, and it's actually gonna be filmed inside of an NFL stadium. They're doing a shocker of shockers. Hallmark's doing another Christmas movie. And this one is going to be a love story. And it's all centered around, well, the team of love right now. It's the Kansas City Chiefs. They'll be using Arrowhead Stadium to film the seasonal movie Holiday Touchdown, a Chiefs love story. It's going to be about a young lady who's played by a soap opera actress named Hunter. What was her name? Hunter something. Yes. Hunter King, who was on like Young and the Restless or something.
Didn't he play quarterback for the Texans? Didn't he play quarterback at Texas A&M at one point? Wasn't that dark helmet?
No, this is. No, this is the female. Her name is Hunter King. She'll be playing the Chiefs superfan, and apparently they're in some kind of Fan of the Year contest, and there's going to be a love story between her and the head of the team's director of fan engagement, which feels like that's like an HR claim or something waiting to happen. But it's a Hallmark movie, so, it's all going to be nice and fluffy. That's not the Christmas movie I'm excited about today, though. Christmas movie I'm excited about today is Red One. If you haven't seen this yet, it's got Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson in it, and J.K. Simmons plays Santa Claus. Santa Claus gets kidnapped, and then basically super agents have to go and rescue him. I'm all the way in. It's got all of the action, and it's got J.K. Simmons in it. I'll watch anything he's in.
I didn't realize how yoked that dude was. That was my first takeaway. Is I feel like J.K. Simmons is a little too small to play Santa Claus.
No, he's sneakily ripped.
Oh yeah, well, we got Jose Canseco, Mark McGuire, Santa Claus.
Precisely. This goes down the harder Santa Claus movies that we've had over the last few years. There was The Fat Man, Jeremy, that you and I watched with Mel Gibson.
Fantastic.
There was Violent Night.
Surprisingly fantastic.
Right. So this is like another one. This is right. So Chris Evans is in it, Captain America. He actually plays the bounty hunter or the tracker that they hire to go get Santa Claus. And it's Chris Johnson or Chris Evans, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson trying to find Santa Claus. I'm all the way in. Lucy Liu's in this movie too.
Still smoking. I mean, she's got to be like 205 years old now, and she still looks 32.
She is 55.
Is that all?
She is 55 years old.
Man, she looks good for 55. And sadly enough, that movie, even with that weird premise you just gave me, I would rather watch that than the NBA draft. My story is about the worst first day of work since Joe Biden, and it belongs to one Mr. J.J. Redick. He was announced yesterday as the head coach of the Los Angeles Lakers, and in the course of one day, he was accused by a former classmate of hurling a racial slur at her and said the F word like 6 times in his press conference. And seemingly everybody in media is up in arms about this, except me. I've seen Jason Whitlock. I've seen Chris Mad Dog Russo. I've seen Stephen A. Smith. All of them railing on him because he was asked a question about changing perception, and he said he didn't give a falafel. Okay. I am a stand-up comedian. I say that word a lot. Like probably 3 times more than the average person that you would meet on the street. I do not understand why in this current landscape are you so worried about that? Can you explain that to me? Because I don't get it.
No, it's the baseball mindset. It's the we're better than that mindset. It's the act professionally mindset. Well, you don't do that in a professional setting, and this is the profession of all professions for these guys. All these sports talking heads, this is what we do. You're kind of making a mockery of it. If you don't have a certain decorum as a head coach or a leader of a team, there's a certain code that you're expected to live by.
And
not saying it's right, I'm saying that's just how it is.
That's the argument.
Yeah.
And I guess I get that. I mean, I
at
least understand where you're coming from.
Right. I mean, it goes the same way for like politics. Right? Every time a politician goes off on some, profanity-laced tirade, they're always seen as a crazy person. Because you don't do that. That's not how you're supposed to conduct yourself in that position. So that's how these guys see NBA head coaches. They don't see a, 42-year-old guy who I don't know, it's a different era. Because when I see J.J. Redick, I see a guy I went to school with, right? I mean, we didn't go to school together, but I mean, we could have. Like, we're the same age. We would have been in the same classes together, stuff like that. That makes me give him a little bit more of a pass. Because we don't have the same standards.
All right.
As the older generations.
I'm glad you said that way. Because everything you just said is an argument that I can at least understand. Here's what I'm not getting. We shouldn't use that word or those words because what about the children? Okay. I think this argument's funny, and I think it's really funny where people choose to use it. I did a little digging. How many artists in the top 200 most played songs across all genres, how many artists don't have at least 1% of the words in their lyrics are obscenities? This is from last year.
Oh, I'm going to go out on a limb and say none.
9.
There's 9.
9 in the top 200 don't have over 1% of their lyrics are obscenities.
Okay.
And it's all the ones you would think it was, too. Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber surprised me a little bit. Bruno Mars, Morgan Wallen, The Weeknd, The Neighborhood, which I've never heard of.
Nope. Not sure who that is.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. We've kind of gotten past that. At least I think we have. The most popular show in our genre airs uncensored on our airwaves.
Mm-hmm.
You get that, right? When you make it okay in the whole lexicon, don't be shocked when it starts happening in situations like this. Look, there's nobody on this planet that likes to make fun of J.J. Redick more than I do. That person doesn't exist. But this is one that I don't understand what you're railing on him for. Somebody asked him a stupid question. He answered it with the most short and to the point answer he could give.
Again, you have to look at who are the ones making the complaints. Who are the ones talking about this? You said him, Mad Dog Russo.
Well, he complains about everything.
80 years old.
Well, he's a legend in our industry.
The guy was on television the other day. He was on television the other day, and he was doing like a top 5 greatest baseball players of all time list or something like that, or greatest champions of all time or something. He had 3 players from the 1930 Yankees in his top 5. Like, dude, you have no idea what section of the population you're trying to go after here with this little TV show that you're working on.
I would also be remiss if I didn't point out this is the same guy that let Pat McAfee get away. But, that's...
I mean, it's just Stephen A. Smith, Greene, all these guys, they're old heads, right? They've got that expectation of the way things used to be done.
And that's fine. I just don't understand railing on the guy for it.
Well, because he's not fit for the job. Right? He's not living up to the code. He's not carrying himself the way that we're supposed to carry ourselves in the good old boys club, right? There's a certain, it's like a country club. You go to a country club, they've got rules against, things that you can wear and things that you can say, and you get heard using profanity in the hallways of a country club, you can get fined for it or whatever. Like, it's the same kind of an attitude. There's a certain decorum that goes with this job. And just coming in with a flippant attitude of I don't give a rip is not up to the standards of an NBA coach. That's how those older generations see it. To a certain point, I can understand that. But really, in 2024, none of that exists anymore. We don't have the same boundaries that we used to. I mean, you may yearn for those days to come back, but they're not.
I yearn for some days to come back. That's not one of them.
No.
People getting upset because you said a wordy dirt is just, of the things that I care about, that's somewhere between the material that my shoelaces are made out of and how to rewire my television. I don't care.
Yep. And it's also, if he's willing to say that about a relatively benign question, what's he going to be like with the media the rest of the way? That'll be my biggest concern of what kind of a relationship are we going to have now? That matters to people in the media. I know it doesn't matter to us as fans. In fact, we kind of like it. We kind of like the fact that J.J. Redick's come out here giving the middle finger and just saying, screw you guys. I'm focusing on winning championships, and I don't want to deal with any of this other stuff.
Does it make me wrong that that's what I want? I mean, because you said as fans, we're not fans. We are members of the media.
Yes.
I don't want the guy that gives me that same canned, nonsensical answer that I know he doesn't believe. If you're going to have access, which at this point we have access to guys that are far and away better than anything we've ever had before. And I'm going to use an example. After the show yesterday, I was working on a couple different things. I found an interview with Dan Patrick, who I've listened to for 30 years, dating back to when he was here at the mothership. It was an uncensored interview. I listened to every second. Every single word, because it was a side of Dan that I've never seen before. I've seen Dan on FCC radio. Hearing him say the random obscenity, it felt like he was telling me the truth. I know this is all a subconscious thing. I get it. But I don't understand why that's a problem when you do it not behind the veil of a podcast. Give me the answer to the question. If that's the answer to the question, give it to me. Don't give me the, we're going to play as a team. I've heard it. I've heard it for 50 years. I'm good. I feel like we've evolved that far in media. Say what you mean.
Only 30 minutes
and mean
left.
What you say.
Yep. Sorry about that. Only 30 minutes left in the program here. We're going to take our top of the hour break. When we come back, Jeremy wants to play the fun game of the NBA draft. Or is it an NBA draft prospect? Or is it a Bond villain? Because tonight's NBA draft doesn't have too many names that you're going to recognize. We'll play the game.
And tomorrow will be even better. I think tomorrow actually happens while we're on the air. Oh, wait, we're off tomorrow.
We're off tomorrow.
Yeah. I forgot about that.
Yeah. We'll play the game.
I got my days confused.
Here on ESPN Asheville.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise.
We're clear.
With Parks Ford Hendersonville, and we are excited to kick off the Parks Promise Community Hero Program. This year, we'll be celebrating nonprofits throughout Western North Carolina that live out our core value to do better and be better for the communities that we serve. There are so many organizations doing amazing things, from being a helpful hand to a soft voice or a warm heart to embrace their neighbors. We can't wait to introduce you to our 2024 Parks Promise Community Heroes. Experience the Parks Promise today at parksfordhendersonville.com.
Summit Dental is accepting new patients. At Summit, they submit insurance on your behalf and provide you with estimates, so you have everything you need to make an informed treatment decision. They also work with Care Credit, and they're happy to help you apply. Care Credit helps you pay for out-of-pocket healthcare expenses. See why Summit Dental has so many 5-star reviews on Google. Book today at AshevilleSummitDental.com. In-house savings programs are also available. Book online at AshevilleSummitDental.com.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
WWNC.com.
With live, local breaking news.
And the latest weather and traffic updates.
It's the website preferred by 9 out of 10 people who want to know what's going on.
News Radio 570, WWNC.
Join the MB Haynes family and enjoy excellent benefits, including medical, dental, and life insurance, 401k, employee stock ownership program, holidays, and paid vacation. MB Haynes has an immediate need for HVAC commercial service techs, plumbing, and electrical technicians. If you're ready to make a career change that positively impacts your workday and your time off, go to mbhaynes.com/careers to view available positions and apply. That's mbhaynes.com/careers. MB Haynes. Quality, commitment, character.
If cleanliness is next to godliness, look around the car right now. Is that very godly? Look, life comes at you fast, but so does WNC Auto Detailing. They have the tools to make your interior look like it's coming off the showroom floor. You don't believe me? Check them out on Instagram. All that filth and years of stains disappear. WNC Auto Detailing does full interior and exterior details with paint correction, and they do wax and ceramic coatings. Call WNC Auto Detailing at 455-3700. Premium care with a Southern hospitality touch.
If you're looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate in the mountains, you need to call the agents at Clarissa Sells WNC, brokered by eXp Realty. Check us out online at ClarissaSellsWNC.com. And did I mention that Clarissa Sells WNC loves teachers? We love teachers so much, we're giving back 25% of our commission at closing. For more information, contact us today at 828-774-6343 or ClarissaSellsWNC@gmail.com.
At Ingles Weather, we're celebrating Friday night rivals, televising college basketball games, bringing the Fan Fest to semi-pro soccer, or taking you out to the ball game at your minor league park. It's all in the bag. Ingles, low prices, love the savings.
This is your Exergen Temporal Scanner weather forecast on ESPN Asheville.
Our Wednesday afternoon may have some change to it compared to where we were yesterday. Still could get into the low 90s, but not a record. Got to get to 96 to get that. That's not happening, at least I don't think. I hope. Sunshine, clouds, and a few showers, thunder showers mid-afternoon through this evening. Upper 60s overnight tonight, still a chance of showers. Thursday, some widely scattered showers, maybe a thunderstorm, especially midday into the afternoon. Otherwise, clouds, sunshine, upper 80s, and a few showers.
Already there.
Friday, upper 80s. Yep. On the Weather Channel, meteorologist Ray Stajic.
This report.
All right, do we just want to do one segment here and then take the break before we got to switch it over at 30, or
are we switching it over at 30 or at 25?
AFC.
No, it's 30.
Participation varies.
We'll just go
Tip and
to
fees
25
extra.
here.
This is the best time for being outdoors.
Okay. We can do a little
Shoulders,
NBA
backs,
draft.
or
We can make
hips
fun
are
of it a
hurting.
little bit.
Don't suffer any longer. Non-surgical joint pain relief is here at QC Kinetics.
Do you want to circle back to the underrated teams on that list?
Medicine.
Yeah,
I'm
we
talking
can do that.
lasting joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and
Game first.
Kinetics advanced
Whatever you think.
treatments harness your own body's ability to restore and repair damaged joint tissue so you can walk and run and hike and play golf
Yeah, I think we should.
free. QC Kinetics is under the leadership of former orthopedic surgeon Dr. Mitchell Scheinkupp, a true pioneer in regenerative medicine. Their advanced protocols have enabled tens of thousands of patients to reclaim their mobility. Stop putting it off. Take action now and live your best life again. Call QC Kinetics now for a free consultation. Call 828-333-9517 in Asheville and Greenville. That's 828-333-9517 in Asheville and Greenville.
Zero Res Carpet and Air Duct Cleaning's hottest summer sale is going on now. 15% off all cleaning services. Mention ESPN Asheville and you'll get 15% off your next service. Use promo code Summer Sale when scheduling online at ZeroResAsheville.com.
ESPN Asheville is WPEK W225CJ Fairview,
WMFX Waynesville,
an iHeart radio station, the exclusive audio home of NBC's coverage of the 2024 Paris Olympics. The Sportsocracy.
Fires me up, man. I love it. Say it one more time.
The Sportsocracy.
Shake it back!
Beer City's best sports talk.
It is gross.
Just earlier.
They are mature, actually. You just have to get to know them better.
Your lunchtime dose of dumbassery. Live from the Ingalls studio.
We are back in the Sportsocracy on ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM, and 1400. The Sportsocracy is heard everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. You can take us with you everywhere you go, live or on demand. We're heard right here from the Ingalls studio. Low prices, love the savings. Jeremy live at Mullet Manor. And tonight, huge night on the sports calendar. Just mark it. Every year to be there front and center. Actually, the sad part is it used to be that way. There used to be a time where I was more excited about the NBA draft than I was any other draft that existed. I think we were all that way at one point. And then over the years, the NFL has taken center stage, basketball has waned in popularity, and now we get text messages the morning of the draft going, oh, crap, I didn't know it was tonight.
Did anybody else forget the NBA draft was tonight? I did.
It is tonight. They split it up into two nights just so they could, they wouldn't have to, stop charging the sponsors for their commercials. They just give them two spots now, one on each night. And then that way you can keep the revenue the same. But the per minute ad spend, that goes down. I have no idea why they thought this was going to be interesting to have first round on one night, second round on another night. No one cared about the second round to begin with.
Nope.
And here's the thing.
I can't wait to see the TV rating on this.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be terrible. You keep having teams, though, throw away draft picks like they're throwing. Why should we even care? Mikal Bridges, 5 first-round draft picks for Mikal Bridges. That sounds crazy to me.
Well, it shouldn't because it's not nearly as much as you think.
Is it?
Well, you got a team that they gave up picks that were – 2 of them were pick swaps, 2 of them were unprotected. But they were their own picks. I mean, I hate to tell you this, but the Knicks are going to be picking at the back end of the 20s for the next handful of years. You got 4 guys that went to college together that want to play together. This team's staying together for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, 4 picks in the 20s is just not worth much. It sounds bad.
Yeah.
But, I mean, do you know who the 20th pick tonight is going to be? Because I'll tell you, it's probably Kyle Filipowski. I'm good.
Which would be great if you had a college team that he was being drafted.
Oh, yeah. If we were drafting an over 21 YMCA team, Kyle Filipowski would be a solid top 10 pick.
I love the way your brain works sometimes. I don't know. It's just the thought of that was hilarious to me.
Oh, what? Just a bunch of fat
but
dudes
you're not wrong.
That played college ball that are like several people we know that are just sitting around going, I can still ball.
Yeah.
With their
but
headband.
You're not wrong with a lot of these guys, though. I mean, even guys who are good, like really good in college, sometimes it just doesn't translate to the NBA. And when I see every breakdown of the NBA draft from Jay Billis, and he keeps saying that there are no great players in this draft, I'm out. Like, I don't care.
I'm not sure there's a good player in this draft.
He said we could have a couple of all-stars in this class, but you don't know which ones they could be. And none of them are going to be perennial all-stars. I'm good. And then here's the other thing. I know like 5 guys that are supposed to go in the first round tonight because I don't follow international or G League basketball.
Which brings us to our fun little game of the day.
So the game is
we should have gotten
NBA
the golden
draft
music
prospect.
for this. Why did we not do that?
Well, because this is another thing we got to mute on YouTube if we do that.
Oh yeah,
we'll get flagged and sued, and I don't want to.
When I reel this out, you rest assured the GoldenEye music's playing back behind this.
Okay, all right, fair enough. It is NBA draft prospect or Bond villain. Jeremy's done that
pulled
thing
a list.
That he likes to do.
Every guy, if it's an NBA draft prospect, it is a name that is actively in the top 100 prospects for tonight and tomorrow's draft. If it's a Bond villain, it is, according to the Wikipedia page of James Bond, a character that has been portrayed as a villain either in a movie or a book. So if I said Randolph Hellbore, you would know that is
a Bond villain.
That is a Bond villain. That is from the novel Silverfin. And his objective was to achieve world domination with an army of humans made more powerful through the use of a serum that manipulates hormones and the endocrine system.
Aha. Hormone injections to make super soldiers.
Basically, yes.
Sounds oddly familiar.
Yes. All right, so I have 8 of these. Okay. To pass, you have to get 4.
All right, so I got to get 50%.
Yes,
or I fail. All right.
My first one is Yannick Cragg.
That's got to be a Bond villain.
That is incorrect. That is the number 96 player in tonight's draft. 6'8", 180-pound wing from the Netherlands. Fluid Dutch swingman with terrific measurables, 7'1" wingspan, who turned the corner as a viable 3-and-D rotation player in Liga ACB last season.
No, he was the number 3 henchman in Octopussy.
You were getting that in this segment, and I knew it.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
All right. You're 0 for 1. Number 2. Montes Rubstavicius.
Rubstavicius. I'll go NBA draft prospect.
That is correct. 6'6", 196-pound Lithuanian swingman. Big wing, efficient scoring ability, and a complimentary role in the NBL. Making shots at a better rate than he ever has in his career.
All right, feeling good. We're 1 for 1.
1 for 1. Let's go.
All
right.
Let's go.
Number 3. Bobby Clintman. Bobby, B-O-B-I, Clintman.
I'm going to go Bond villain.
That's a first-round pick tonight, Bob. He is a Swedish power forward, 6'9", 210 pounds, big, versatile forward whose ability to space the floor, finish in transition, and make plays on defense helped him carve out a big role in the NBL.
He's a Swede.
He's a Swede, and he's probably going in the first round.
I was going to say Bobby Clintman. That sounded like it probably was a henchman from Die Another Day or something. One of the Pierce Brosnan movies.
All right, you're one for three. You're not off to the best start.
No. Still got time, though.
Number 4, Andrea Karakin.
Bond villain.
That's right. He was in Red Nemesis with La Velada and Adam Elmhurst trying to kill King George V at the Royal Opera House with explosives. He then placed their mimicking henchmen in place so they can rule Great Britain.
Mm-hmm.
I was 100% sure you were going to miss that one.
Devious.
I would have bet anything you wanted that you were going to miss that one.
It's 100% dart throws here. I have no idea.
Have you had one yet that you weren't purely guessing at?
No, okay. I have not.
And I hate to tell you this, but they get harder as we go along.
Great.
All right, this is number 5. You're sitting at 2 for 4.
Yeah.
Severon Haidt.
That's a Bond villain.
That is correct. Prototypical Serbian weapon known as the Cutter to destroy a university in York, killing a cancer researcher who could ruin his employer, a pharmaceutical corporation.
Mm-hmm. What movie was that from?
That was from Carte Blanche.
Or book.
That was from the book Carte Blanche.
Ah, yes.
I'm not. You told me yesterday you had watched all the movies, so I was afraid that if I used too many movie names.
I mean, if you stay away from all the villains in GoldenEye, that's probably the only ones that I can think of names off the top of my head, and it's only because I played that damn video game so much on the Nintendo 64 back in the day.
All right, this one.
Boris and Natasha.
This one, and I'll just go ahead and tell you, there is a real-world comp on this guy. Hera Volopoulos. I know this one pretty well.
Volopoulos.
Hera Volopoulos.
I'm going to go Bond villain again.
That is also a Bond villain. Real life, Dr. Anthony Fauci releases a virus onto the world and profits from the treatment.
Was that Dr. No?
That was the facts of death. There was no shot. When I went through every Bond villain, of which, by the way, we've had way more Bond books than we ever should have. That's a character that we could have stopped at, like, we could have given our word to stop at 3rd. I did done. Just no more.
All right, so I got 4 out of 6 here. You're doing good.
You're doing infinitely better than I thought you would.
I've already hit passing.
You have. Ulrich Kamchi. Ulrich Kamchi. Chomche.
Ulrich Kamchi. That is an NBA prospect.
That is an NBA prospect. 6'10", 230 pounds, young, inexperienced bigman with massive defensive potential. Thanks to his 7'5" wingspan and exceptional frame and mobility.
And averaged 12s of points for some Serbian team, I'm sure.
It's less than that. He was the one whose whose stat line really made me laugh. He is the
average 8 points and 4 rebounds and 6 blocks.
In the Basketball Africa League qualifiers, he averaged 13 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists with 3 blocks, shooting a paltry 42.4% from the field. All right, I've got two more after this.
Last one.
This is the last one that I was grading you on.
Okay, all right.
Pelle Larsson.
That's a basketball player.
That is a basketball player.
I've heard that name.
6'5". I was afraid you might have heard of this one. He played at Arizona, 6'5", two guard. Strong frame wing, two-way versatility, who contributed steadily on and off the ball as a senior in the Pac-12.
See, that's the thing that helped me out, is the fact that he's actually played college basketball. I've seen that dude play. That's the problem with all these Swedish and Serbian and French guys. There's nothing. I don't got nothing against them. They make the game great. I love the international players. Problem is, I don't know who the hell they are, so I have no interest in learning where they go in the draft.
All right, I have
because most of the time they don't ever pan out.
I have two bonus round names. You've already passed. You already did way better than I thought you were going to do.
Yes.
Babacar Sane.
Bonus round.
Babacar Sane. S-A-N-E.
Basketball player.
You're right. He played for the G League Ignite. Strength, length, and top-tier explosiveness give him upside even if his season with the G League Ignite suggests he is still early in his development, because he's a top 100 prospect that averaged 4 points in the G League. 4. I could average 4 points in the G League. First of all, they score like 217 points a night. I'm convinced I could score 4 points in the G League. I still got that drop step. And you rest assured that ball touches my hands, fire away.
Yep. Card-carrying captain team gets mine.
All right, and there is a reason that I'm asking this last one. Malavi Lians.
Malavi Lians. I'm going to go basketball player.
8 for 10. Look at Tank, just killing it. 6'9" power forward out of Bradley. Narrow frame Dutch junior college product whose length, versatility, and intensity on the defensive end are intriguing, especially when he's helping space the floor. He played at Bradley. And he's a top 90 prospect tonight.
Wow. Reminder to everyone, there are only 60 picks in the NBA draft. Could be fewer if we have any penalties being served.
Oh, there's 58. We've already lost 2 second-round picks.
Oh, well, there you go.
Milwaukee and
58.
Brooklyn, maybe? Yeah. I'm going to come up with rules for an NBA draft drinking game. The only problem, and I've been trying to do this for a couple days, the only problem I've had so far is that I think anything I could possibly put in the rules, I might send people to the hospital, and I don't want to. I don't need that on my conscience. Drink every time a player is drafted that you've never heard of. Okay, so just tell me I have to do 30 shots tonight.
Just every one of them. You're going to have 6 dudes that get drafted tonight in the first round that you're going to be familiar with, and that's if you watch college basketball closely.
You have to finish your beer if you've never seen them play. Awesome. I'm going to drink 26 beers tonight.
The odds-on favorite to land with our very own Charlotte Hornets with the number 6 pick, according to the DraftKings Sportsbook this morning, was Dalton Connect. I think he was a plus 160 option, which is the best odds. I think it's pretty set in stone that that's probably who that's going to be.
For the 4 of you that care, if Donovan Clingan's on the board at 6, they will trade down and take Dalton Connect at 9.
Mm-hmm.
I've done none of it on this show, but I did still have I had to do just a little bit of contract work on the NBA draft.
Okay. All right.
Of which you want to know that was for me. That was like the day that your boss got mad at you and made you scrub the toilets. That was Jeremy's work on the NBA draft this year.
Yeah. I want to circle back real quick for the next last couple of minutes of the program here. 10 minutes away from the start of the day-night doubleheader, Atlanta Braves and the St. Louis Cardinals from St. Louis coming up at 1:30 here on ESPN Asheville. We'll have the game 2 for you coming up tonight at 7 o'clock. Circle back to the best rosters in the NFL, because we didn't touch on the ones that are undersold in the prognostication from ESPN that had Dallas at 6 and Buffalo at 9. They also had Philadelphia down at like 16 or something. And that just irritated the hell out of me.
Because that's too low?
Because there's no – I mean, Philadelphia's top 5 roster in this league. If you don't think so, I think you need your head examined.
Okay. I'll go ahead and tell you I don't.
Of course.
I don't.
They're close, though.
They have a very good defense. And by the way, Philadelphia was 10.
10, yeah.
10. My problem with Philadelphia is if you're weighting this based on position, quarterback has to hurt you. It just does. There's no way around that. Then you get into the fact that you're transitioning to a different kind of defense. Your linebackers are not great. I don't know exactly what you have at corner because Darius Slay and James Bradbury were so bad last year. I get it. It's a little low. I would definitely have them ahead of Buffalo. I would definitely have them ahead of Dallas. But I think that's the only 2 I could get them in front of.
Really?
That wasn't the one that I was just jumping up and down going, you're smoking crimes.
Which one was that?
The one that really just kind of dumbfounded me, the Chargers, it feels insanely low at 24. The Titans feels low at 25. And the Raiders at 26 is maybe the dumbest thing I've ever read. The fact they have the Buccaneers ahead of all 3 teams I just said is just dumb, crazy dumb. You're a Bucs fan, and I think you can even admit the Raiders have a better roster than you do.
I don't. I think it's much closer than you think.
Okay, that's not what I know. It could be by it could be by an infinitesimal amount. If you had to bet your life on those 2 teams playing each other, you would take the Raiders, in spite of your hatred of them.
Yeah, probably.
I knew if I coerced you enough, eventually I'd get you to the right answer.
Well, I mean, it's you know. I like to have faith in my team, but yeah, I mean, you're probably right.
And the Vikings are ahead of all of them too.
I just thought it was so hilarious that your insistence that this playoff team came in at number 26 in the best starting roster. It was just too much for me. It was just too much. It gave me a good chuckle. It's wrong. It is wrong. I will give you that, Raiders fans.
It's insanely dumb.
It's funny.
I'm telling you, I'm going to recruit that gigantic Raider fan you met. He's going to work you over real good before security shows up.
Yeah. Anybody else that you were just peeved at their ranking?
The fact that the New England Patriots were ahead of 5 teams in the NFL. Which tells me apparently Robert Kraft was one of the contributing writers here, because that's the only way you're going to make that make sense to me.
Right. The Chicago Bears at 17. That's crazy talk to me as well. They're close to a top 10 roster. I don't know exactly if they're in the top 10, but they are so close. And get if you have questions about the quarterback, okay. But you look up and down that roster, and there is a stud pretty much at every level.
Oh, it's a very talented roster. Don't get me wrong. I have a few fears with the Bears. Biggest one is the quarterback, as you said.
Mm-hmm.
The secondary really needs to take a step forward. They have a lot of young guys that I like, but they haven't played really well. And then you get to the line, which I think has been a problem for the Bears for 415 years.
Right. But it's improving.
Oh, no doubt. And I don't like that they're that low. I'm not going to say I was outraged.
Right.
I thought it was inconsistent because you're railing on them for having a young quarterback and inconsistent quarterback play and whatever else. And then you have a team like Jacksonville in front of them. Mm-hmm. Okay. Make that make sense to me because
it's the beauty about prognostications and opinions. Everybody's got one and nobody has to agree with it. And we can all agree here in the Sportsocracy to agree to disagree.
And we can all agree.
Be civil and move on.
And we can all agree in this wonderful community of sports talk show that tonight we should do anything except watch the NBA draft.
Yes, I'll be watching episode 4 of Who Killed WCW that I didn't get to see last night because I have to go to bed too early on the Vice. That's a hell of a series that I've been watching. Have you watched any of the Clipped series? The Los Angeles Lakers or Los Angeles Clippers FX series?
I keep turning it on and falling asleep 4 minutes in. Actively, I think a pharmaceutical company could use that as a new sleep tranquilizer and $1 billion idea.
It is way more FX drama show than anything to do with basketball. Lawrence Fishburne plays Doc Rivers, which is a little hard for me to believe, but the fact that he's best friends with LeVar Burton in the show, and I'm hoping to God that's a real story, that him and LeVar Burton would just sit in the sauna together at their apartment building and talk about life during all of the Donald Sterling stuff. I've been entertained with it. My wife's been entertained with it. It's just a cool little thing that, may not be your cup of tea specifically in watching television shows, but it is entertaining enough to get the females interested in the drama of it. Anyway, that's what I'll be doing tonight other than watching the NBA draft. You're in the Sportsocracy. This is ESPN Asheville, 92.9 FM, 880 AM and 1400 Braves baseball. It's coming up next.
Savings. Now that's
clear.
And with My Lowe's Rewards, your savings just keep coming with member-only offers. Learn.
Look at that shit.
Program at Lowe's.com/MyLowe'sRewards. Subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details.
On the money.
To fill positions in your company is essential. But
all right, I'm going to go take care of my
unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter
mouth pain, face hurt.
ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies candidates with
yes.
All right,
I'll talk to you tomorrow sometime.
Yeah, I'll. JW just sent me a text that said he forwarded the schedule over, so I'll have to dig into it.
Free to try ZipRecruiter.
I figure I'll probably just meet you at your house.
Free. Join us for our 37th annual Operation Blood Drive with WLO
on Friday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I believe we'll be
visit redcrossblood.org and use the sponsor code.
It's kind of hard to have 3 people or 2 people in 3 cars.
2024. We can't wait to see you there.
Do better, be better every day. That's the Parks Promise. This is JW with Parks Ford Hendersonville, and we are excited to kick off the Parks
as soon as I dig into that, I'll let you know the when, what, where, and why.
Nonprofits throughout Western North Carolina that live out our core value to do better and
right on
that we serve.
All right, talk to you
so
more.
many organizations doing amazing